Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and I bring you Imba FXO Strelok. He's in the red trunks. He is playing Terran to the southeast of the GSL-GSTL crevasse versus his opponent, who proved to be quite the opponent in the last game, providing some extremely entertaining stuff. It is GL Snute. He is in the blue trunks, and he is playing Zerg to the northwest. Wonderful game, I have to say. Extremely entertaining from these guys. Really good stuff. He asks, quite simply, are you not entertained? I was damn well entertained by that. It's unfortunate. Strelok, with some good drop harassment, was able to eliminate several bases, using the rather unorthodox method of repeatedly nuking a hatchery until it dies. I don't think he actually killed a single... No, he killed one worker with about 4 nukes. Snute was really quick on the ball, pulling his workers off. The problem is, of course, he can't move a hatchery. So, the hatcheries did eventually die, and Snute eventually ran out of money, sacrificed quite a few infestors in that final engagement that he didn't really need to lose, and was unable to deny the gold for long enough, so Strelok takes the game. But it was a good fight, a very, very good fight. I was extremely entertained by that game. So let's see what Snute can pull out this time around this best-of-3 series. This is currently still group stages and the match 1. ESWC has these big gaps between matches. So what they do is all the matches are pretty much played at the same time with a few exceptions. And we cast one live match from every set of group stages, and then we get a bunch of replays to cast from all the other stuff. So you are still watching group stage 1. So we're trying to cast as many replays as we can. We've got through quite a few series so far with some extremely entertaining games. Very, very happy about what we've seen thus far. It's been great. I just have to think, if this is round 1 of this tournament, this is round 1 group stages, this is going to get so much better over the next couple of days. We've got some great players here. I would firmly, firmly believe that the playoffs for the ESWC Grand Finals are going to be amazing. $66,000 on the line, various sponsors. In this case, we've got a partnership with Owned.tv, which is why I'm on my Owned.tv stream and not my Twitch TV stream, folks. Just letting you know, that is why. Okay, let's see what Strelok decides to do here. Goes for the wall off and actually goes for the second gas. Interesting move on crevasse. You tend to see a lot of Terran players grab this expansion really quickly. That's not happening right now for Strelok. Intriguing maneuver. I'm interested to see what he does with that second gas so early on. Could be some aggressive one-base play. Could potentially be Banshee. He's grabbing Factory really quickly. So let's see what he decides to do. If he's taking 2 gas, then I would imagine... it could be Blue Flame Hellion drop. Honestly, that's a possibility. Taking the gas for that. Or it could, of course, just be Red Flame Hellion drop. You need to follow up with a second factory if you want to go for the blue, considering that he's going for the reactor there. Red Flame Hellion drop, I would say, is a possibility, based on what gas he's taking right there. Based on the fact that he hasn't expanded yet, so that means he needs all of his minerals for Hellions. So, right now, Snute cleans up that scout quite easily. Out too much of a problem. And that means that Strelok is denied any real information.
Complete.
He doesn't know that his opponent's expanded, although he can very, very easily predict that that is the case. There we go. There's the starport. Yep. Either it's some weird Hellion Banshee play, which is not impossible considering the positioning right there for Strelok. He has just moved that barracks down there and he's gone for Tech Lab, or it is Red Flame Hellion drop. I keep assuming Blue Flame. I'm living in like a month and a half away's freaking metagame at this point. Like, oh my god, it's going to be a Blue Flame Hellion drop. No. Yep, it is going to be some weird funky play, a 1-1-1 style play right here. Banshee Hellion, possibly. Raven Hellion, possibly. Let's find out what he decides to build with it. He doesn't have the gas for either just yet. His gas count's got quite high. Unfortunately, he is supply block. There we go. It will be Cloaked Banshee combined with Hellion. Really aggressive one-base play to try and finish off Snute. I can only imagine he doesn't want to play another long macro game against Snute. I cannot blame him. So it's going to be Hellion harassment at the front, Banshee harassment at the back. A dangerous combination. Very much so. 4 Red Flame Hellions now moving in. Now the question is, what are we going to see? Is it going to be damage? I think so. Strelok now pushing into that mineral line. How much damage can he do? Snute trying to surround. Is he able to get it? No, he is not. Lined up right there, but Strelok actually aimed that incorrectly, as you see there. Not the best control there from Strelok. That was nicely defended by Snute. Damage, not so great. if you notice that shot, he actually, I believe he either misclicked or he auto-attacked right there with the Hellions. He did not have the control. He could have taken out several drones with that one burst. You got to bear that in mind. If you can't just go straight into a mineral line and auto-attack these days. It just doesn't work, especially not against a kind of caliber of a player like Snute. Doesn't work. You can't do that. You've got to be very cautious, especially with Red Flame. Blue Flame, little bit easier. At least it used to be, because of course you could take out workers in 2 shots. Red Flame, it takes 3. You've got to be more precise. If you miss, that's quite a long cooldown before you can shoot again. In comes the cloaked Banshee harassment right there. 1 Banshee on the field, 2nd Banshee coming up. Snute does have double evolution chambers. Spore Crawler response is immediately required right now. However, right now he has no way of seeing it, and if Strelok is able to eliminate these 2 queens, then Snute is in a massive amount of trouble. Right now, Strelok deciding to focus fire on the workers instead, however. Try and deny Snute's economy. Up comes the Spore Crawler. 2nd Spore Crawler at the back as well. No Spore Crawler in the main, so all mining has been denied. Good harassment right here by Strelok. 8 kills already on that Banshee. Gets out there nice and easy. A 2nd cloaked Banshee coming in from the side. That Spore Crawler is not deployed. Spore Crawlers do not spot anything unless they're deployed, folks. There's the focus fire. Strelok wants to take a queen. He's able to do so and gets out of there without any damage done to him whatsoever. Very nice play there by Strelok. Good economic harassment. Holding his opponent back somewhat and making sure that he can catch up from this 1 base play. Now try to take a 3rd. These Banshees can deny it. This creep spread is not so amazing from Snute. If the queens decide to move out there, they will die. He actually only has 1 queen on the field. That means that hatchery is basically dead. There's nothing he can do about it. Needs more queens. 2 more pushing out right now. Will he be able to get there in time? I don't think so. The hatchery's taking too much damage at this point. There's the cancel. Snute realizes he cannot maintain. And a Zerg like him is going insane. Oh ho ho. Insane in the membrane, insane in the brain. Right now, what is Strelok up to? He's looking to expand once again. Another orbital command coming in there. Those Banshees have more than paid for themselves, I feel, and now transitioning back into his standard Marine Tank Medevac composition. Looking to once again apply drop pressure. Economically, Strelok is without question ahead. He's got a good amount of SCVs, even with 41 drones. That's still 3 mules on the field. 3 orbital commands available. He's well ahead in that regard. Look at the income. Pretty good. Another hatchery coming down. Strelok looking to deny it immediately. And the question is, will he be able to take that? Yes, he can. Immediate cancel. Overseer now on the field right now for Snute, so at least that cloak won't be as effective. But still 2 Banshees. 2 Banshees can kill 2 queens if properly microed. The problem is that one's injured. Strelok throwing that one away, I feel, honestly. Unnecessarily. Trades a queen for a Banshee. I don't know if that was necessary right there. Snute now supply blocked, unfortunately. Strelok not looking to expand just yet because he can't. Overlord was placed there. That's where the supply block came from. The Overlord decided to drop creep to deny that 3rd for as long as possible. Now ground defenses in a good position for Strelok. Snute, interestingly, does not go for these big Mutalisk plays that we see a lot of Zerg do. In the meantime, here's a drop right here from Strelok. He can clean up the Spine Crawler, and Spore Crawler, in fact, and now Strelok can move in to do some real damage. Can he take out the main? That would be unpleasant. A smart move right there. In fact, that's not the main. Never mind. This is freaking Crevasse. I keep forgetting that. Oh, this looks like the main. Not the main. Here comes the pressure. A transfuse right there on the hatchery to keep it alive. Strelok is going to end up losing this Banshee if he's not careful. Where's the Overseer? There it is. Moving into position to take it out. Immediately taken out right there. Some damage done, but not a huge amount. Economic damage done minimized right there by Snute, but still Strelok is ahead in terms of his work account, and he's got mules to back that one up as well. Viking on the way out there, perhaps to snipe off a couple of Overlords. And, of course, the spot for those siege tanks that he's building. 4 on the field already. 17 Marines for him as well. Strelok unable to do a huge amount of drop damage. Snute needs to start mining from this 3rd right here. You'll notice that Strelok has already got himself a 3rd, so that's a bit unpleasant. We need to look to see an expansion once again from Snute here. Looking for Hive Tech. At the moment, he's just surviving on a bare minimum of queens and zerglings. He does have the pathogen glands upgrade. Looking to try and, I would imagine, go for this Infestaling composition through into Ultralisk. Once again, that's kind of the Stefano style in the ZVP. There's that 4th hatchery coming down right there from Snute. The question is, can he hold it? He doesn't have a lot going for him right now. If Strelok starts to do multiple drops again, things can get a little bit dicey. Single Viking looking to try and eliminate Overlords. See on a big path right there, looking for the usual positions that you tend to hide Overlords. Snoot's visibility, his smart vision's not bad. He's got control of all forward Zelnaga watchtowers. Most of his Overlords are quite close to his base, honestly. And that's probably going to be a good thing, considering the Viking that's lurking for prey right there. Strelok now pushing forward, Marine Tank Force. +1 upgrade, no real more than that. He's got the infantry armor level 1 coming in. You don't tend to see a lot of upgrades from Strelok, that's not really his style. It's mostly because he tends to mix Marine with tank and mech and things like that, so usually the upgrade is not as good as it would be for a player that goes pure bio. Hatchery is going to get denied here. I really don't think there's anything that Snute can actually do about that. Definitely not, especially not with that many tanks deployed. So once again, we're looking for a starvation play here by Strelok, who will look to throttle the life out of his opponent. Snute is looking pretty decent at the moment. He's certainly got a lot of tech in his favor. He's got Banelings coming up. He's got Infestors on the way as well. I'm just concerned that he's not going to have the size army needed to deal with this. You'll see the disparity right there, 94 to 59. And then Strelok can start doing drops, which will force Snute's multitasking into a really unpleasant situation. No! Down it goes. Nice shot right there by Snute, and that drop denied. Not really sure what he was actually trying to do with that drop, honestly, but hey, there you go. Couple of Infested Terrans being fired out right there to try and do some damage to these Marine forces with the splash damage from those tanks. In comes a drop from Strelok at the top. Is it able to do anything? Well, there aren't actually all that many defenses. A couple of Zerglings now moving in. They'll be able to surround and deal with that. In the meantime, Strelok continues this push. Multi-pronged attack. The trademark style of Strelok, who attempts to take out this third. He's probably got what he needs to make that happen. It depends how good these Infestors are, really. There's a couple of Infested Terrans coming in. Looking to try and get us around with those Zerglings. Able to do so, but significant Zergling losses taken. Good tank spread right there. The drop has been cleaned up for the most part. This Viking sniping off yet more Overlords. In come those Infestors. Couple of Infested Terrans drop down to try and do some damage. Wants to do some Infested Terrans into the middle of those tanks. That's the sensible thing to do to try and wear away at that. Another tank shot. Oh, nice focus fire there by Strelok. Almost losing that one. He doesn't lose a single tank in that harassment. Very, very good indeed. More Infestors coming in, trying to clear this up with the links, and he breaks the contain. However, there are more Marines and tanks on the way, and that's concerning, because a lot of that Infestor energy just went on breaking that contain. He doesn't have anything to really follow up some kind of counterattack. The Infested Terrans engaging right now. Strelok taking some losses in the process, but nothing he really needs to worry about. We've got a Ghost Academy coming up in the background of that as well, and another command center. Strelok continues to deny these expansions for Snute. Not looking so great at all. Getting mined out at his main. Not mined out just yet, it is natural, but a lot of damage has been taken, possibly vulnerable to another drop. Upgrades coming in right here for Strelok. Mobius Reactor, level 2 on both of that. Just deliberately decided to prove me wrong in that regard. I suppose he can kind of afford it at this point. Strelok with another large force, now securing his 4th expansion. His army supply looking really good against Snute at the moment. Snute seems to be kind of all over the place in this game, honestly. A reasonable defensive force available, a large number of Infestors and some Banelings as well. The problem is he doesn't really have the Baneling count required to break this big tank contain. Those Banelings will die before they actually get there. That's my concern. And now Strelok getting really, really aggressive with that. Baneling's getting in firing range, not what you want. A couple of Zerglings taken out, and now sieging the third. Infestors are going to have to break this. That's the only real choice he's got. Infested Terrans coming down. However, they're getting cleaned up very quickly by those Marines. They don't have 2-2 just yet, but they're still enough to clean it up. Big charge right here by Snute, losing a lot of Zerglings on the right flank, and there's a big fungal on the left. Still continuing to do damage to that. Is there enough medevac support to keep those Marines alive? Evidently there is. The contain does its job. It breaks the third. And Snute in a horrible economic position at this point. A lot of fungal growths going down. Is it enough to kill everything? It is not. The tanks are the real threat right here, and more Marines streaming across the field, as you can see. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Snute really charging him with everything he's got right now. I think this is his last gasp attempt to try and do some damage. Banelings really aren't all that effective. Infestors moving in from the back. Can he get a good fungal? Does he have what he needs to make that happen? GG, ladies and gentlemen. No, he does not. And the second game of that best-of-3 series goes to Strelok. Nicely played there by him, and much more